Good morning, evening, or afternoon, everybody. It's Kaghoe coming at you with another video. So today I wanted to dive into the forums and talk about the end of SoD poll. That way you guys can hear what other people are saying and not just myself. Now I know it's sad to talk about this and I hate doing it, but I think it brings attention to it, and maybe if we bring enough attention to it, they might change their mind. We don't know for a fact that this is the end of SoD, but the signs are there, and the vibe really feels like it might be that. So, anyway, without further ado, let's switch it over and dive right into this. So, this was a poll on the forums. It's quite popular right now, and it is called the end of SoD. So, the original poster says, "What are the rest of you fellow gamers going to play after the conclusion of SoD? Anniversary, hardcore, retail, or an entirely different game together? I, for one, will be going back to Hello Kitty Island Adventure. Hope to see some of you there." Then the next post, "I will unsub if the servers go down permanently for SoD until Classic Plus, and if that doesn't live up to SoD, I'll be permanently unsubbing. Retail sucks, and Shrew Classic is boring after playing SoD." Edit, I totally forgot about Mop. I'll definitely give that a second go. I never got to play during the TOT release and came back during the Timeless Isles and SSO part. That's fair. That's actually kind of the boat I'm in too. I didn't do TOT until it was later content, so I might be leaning towards the Mop side. I don't really know. And we said, "I don't see the server being shut down. It will eventually start to die out, though. Once folks can do everything they can, it'll probably get squished down to one server that'll be there forever. I still play Anniversary, and I will do again, and will do so again when TBC gets released. Hopefully that'll tide me over till Midnight comes out, or at least Season 4 of The War Within. We'll see. I don't play any other games, don't have the want or desire to at this point." Now that is a true WoW gamer through the core. I don't play any other games, and I don't have the want or desire to at this point. I absolutely love that. We have, since we've read quite a bit of his posts, "I will aimlessly wander the maw until the light of Classic Plus breaches the darkness. No other version of WoW interests me. Death Stranding will be out by then, and so maybe you'll see me on the beach. If there is no more content after the Scarlet Enclave and no news of Classic Plus on the horizon, I will most likely unsub until we get some news about it. SoD is the only version of the game I've been enjoying recently. Retail has some decent ideas but fell off for me. Kata has been executed pretty poorly, so the original high hopes I've had for Mop Classic have kind of fallen off, and Classic/Anniversary is just unfortunately too bare for me now that I've been spoiled by SoD." I feel this one a lot. Like, I tried to do Anniversary after like 6-8 weeks of it. I just got so bored pressing Frostbolt, raiding MC. Like, there's just no, like, it just feels bad after doing SoD. And SoD, you know, with all the twists, making them so much more harder, making them more engaging in every way, it just really feels terrible to go back there and do that. Then we have SoD casually, Mop Classic, then whatever new season they announce. I got like a year of free game time left. Mop until TBC. I know all the Ret players are probably going to be crying that SoD is nearing an end. I can't wait to see how many of them unsub if they shut down the server posts. Well, I'm already unsubbed again. The couple people I knew that were playing quit, and Phase 8 doesn't really interest me, so I'm not interested in any existing version of WoW anymore. Anniversary didn't interest me because I've seen enough of Classic, or at least the first part of it. Maybe if it had been TBC to begin with, and I'm not interested in joining an already messed up server to play TBC again. I don't really see the point of them doing any fresh for TBC because they could have done that to begin with. Not interested in Mop. Don't see it bringing back enough people to make my server alive again. I don't see a point to them doing any fresh server for there either. I will never play live again, and nothing they can do will change that. So for now, I will be unsubbed once the currently paid time concludes. If they offer a fresh server when TBC comes to Anniversary or Mop, I might play either of those, but honestly, I just think it's a waste of resources for Blizzard, along with the fact that they did fresh for the original Classic TBC launch. I visually remember how that ended. Well, I thought they did fresh for Wrath, not TBC. because a lot of people might actually go to the fresh TBC. I would actually be interested in that as someone who quit and haven't been farming, and the prices over there are ridiculous, and just how gold works, people are just going to keep getting more and more gold. So I actually would love to see a classic TBC launch. Then they said when they release Classic Plus or something that isn't just a rerun of the stuff I've done too many times to do again, maybe I'll try it. Hopefully they do Classic Plus, a miracle happens and they don't run it into the ground like they did with SoD. I think that's a harsh, unreal statement right there. Then we said I'd pay a sub to have a decent amount of time, like I had with my original SoD guild. Doubt any of those people will ever come back, and if I find that something I'm willing to sub comes back for, I'll stick around until it's gone, and then I am likely gone no matter what they do. I have far more faith in my ability to find a decent guild in something like Classic Plus than I have in any of Blizzard. So very interesting, very negative take on all of Classic WoW. He had some good points that I did agree with, but a little harsh at attacking there. Kaghoe right now has the second population of any of these behind retail, of course. You can look up server pop. MOP will unfortunately be massive, especially with SoD dying. That is kind of probably where people go. It is interesting that people just kept playing Kaghoe, even though most of the people I knew quit it and have gone back to Anniversary. But I wish, so the biggest problem with the chart numbers is that it takes all Anniversary servers, which means hardcore, and judging by layers, hardcore has like 10 to 15 layers every single day and is blowing SoD and Anniversary out of the water. So without being able to discern those, you can't really tell how popular the just normal classic Anniversary servers are, because those numbers are put together. So I'd love to see them split it off on Ironforge, but anyway, just a little point there. Then he says, I'm excited to play and build up my account for each era they give us. I'm guessing WoD or SoD won't end for a while, though. I'd be happy with it staying on its own era or the characters being sent over to Anniversary. MOP then TBC is my plan. I've also been playing a lot of retail because I'm a huge fan of the Goblin aesthetic. I feel right at home and undermined. Honestly, I'm having more fun playing all versions of WoW than I did in 15 years, probably because I have more time. Very true. That's good. Time and more time to play WoW makes you enjoy it or hate it, depending on who you are. I said, thanks for telling me. It suddenly made my low population Kaghoe server full of players and alive with people looking for groups, etc. On the other hand, telling me SoD is dying, it made me see ghosts all over the place, and they were still chatting away and setting up groups for whatever it is the dead do. I think he's trying to make a pun that it's not there, but like he's saying that people only raid on Kaghoe and no one's doing anything in the world, and SoD people are actually playing and doing things is what I think he's trying to say there. But in a sarcastic way, very hard to detect sarcasm. Then we have Darkest here. He said, retail sucks. Yeah, retail sucks so much that it's the most popular version of WoW and MMO in general. So he's defending retail. I'll be playing whatever there is available. There's no shortage of content. If you aren't married to the one version of the game, we'll likely be rotating between SoD, MOP, and retail depending on what I'm in the mood for. Sounds like you unfortunately play on a dead Kaghoe server, so he didn't get the joke either. Then SoD into Anniversary TBC. If they do Classic Plus, then a hype train builds up to that. If there's a gap, find some other game to play. I'm kind of done with these base vanillas after doing a few hardcore characters, the slow roll of phases in SoD and Anniversary. If they add Dwarf Shamans, I'll reactivate and sub and play. If not, the sub ends on April 7th and plenty of Xbox Game Pass. So this dude's not even going to try Phase 8, which is a shame, because after someone who's tested at Phase 8 a ton, I would really love to do that. And then they said if they do Classic Plus, if they do a Classic Plus, I will play it. If not, private server of Classic Plus, anything but a Classic Fresh TBC and MOP, or just quit WoW again. Panda for sure. SoD has been a bit a disappointment for... What? SoD has not been a disappointment for 6 phases. These last 4 through 8 have been amazing. He probably just didn't play it and quit. I have to agree that I wasn't expecting to have this much fun playing SoD. These runes and content so far has been great. If not, I wouldn't be playing WoW. I don't like retail, and Classic is something I've played for many years in the past. Don't feel I need to replay that again. I will turtle. So I think they're saying they're playing Turtle WoW. Then since here, this will be the last one we're going to read. I'm normally pretty against private servers as I find many used to just shamelessly profit off of Blizzard's work, but my recent stance have changed for two major reasons. There are servers like Turtle and Ascension are now transformative content that involve developers putting in genuine work into a product using code that has been accessible to the public for 20 years. If Blizzard abandons Classic Plus, in my personal opinion, this is not me saying I view it this way, but in my opinion on what is moral social case, someone else is taking up the mantle is fine. That's pretty good. Sansa, I usually agree with him. He has a lot of good stuff. He lives on these forums. If there is no Phase 9, I will unsub during Phase 8. So, the purpose of me reading all of these, we can go on, keep going. This goes forever and ever. But the purpose of me reading all this is to give you guys other people's opinions. Now I want to talk about my own. So, here you guys go. Here is the total time Season of Discovery has been out for 492 days. In those 492 days, I have made, if we go by our playlist of just Season of Discovery and Season of Discovery Phase 8 right here, we have, this will be our 645th video, because at the time of recording it's not uploaded, so it'll be here in SoD Phase 8, so that's 40, plus the 605. You can take my word on that one. And so I have poured my heart and soul into Season of Discovery. I have logged in every single day in those 492 days. I have not missed a single day. Largely, some of those days are to record a video. I do hit the point where my characters get capped and I'm kind of raid logging. That's where I'm at now towards the end of this phase. But I still log in, I still play, I still do things as well. Like manage auctions, gold, whatever I'm doing. And if any guildie needs help, I log in. But the point I'm trying to make with this is that so many people, especially SoD's most dedicated, don't want it to end. I know the devs have said on numerous occasions that they love SoD, they love developing it, it's their favorite thing to make. So I just don't know why we would just end it, you know? Like I can understand it, like Enclave being the last major thing, but I still feel like there's so much potential. My Caverns of Time idea yesterday I think would be an amazing way to keep SoD fresh, keep SoD playing, give the SoD players, the people who are your most dedicated, the people who have been, if this is the prologue to a Classic Plus, if this is our Classic Plus beta, if we are testing all of that, give them an ending that is worth something, you know? Give them that ending that they deserve, because I think just going to Phase 8, ending it, and making it be another 500 plus days until we get Classic Plus is just a terrible way to go out. So even if it's just, reusing content that comes in the future, whether we're just going into Caverns of Time and we get to go do like Karazhan from TBC or Black Temple or any of those raids, I think it would just be so much more enjoyable. I don't even know if that's possible, but just something that we're not just sitting here doing the stuff that we already have for over a year and a half. I think that is just such a shitty end for Season of Discovery, and if Classic Plus is truly in the works, there has to be so much more that we can test and experience and do. But anyway, those are just my final thoughts and my opinion on this. I don't want to see SoD end. As you saw, I am probably one of SoD's most dedicated players. I get DMs like these. DMs like these make my day every time. So we have Red Hoof right here, who said, "Hey, big fan here. I just want to say I love your content. Keep up the good work, brother." Then we have Lou Calm Fit. He said, "Just want to say thank you for being a huge driver in the SoD media. I'm sure you hear a lot of that." And I said, "Well, it never gets old. It always makes my day. Pushes me harder to keep making stuff." Then, of course, he asked about undead paladins and things like that, which, is always great. So, anyway, guys, I just wanted to leave you with all that, explain my thoughts, and I truly hope you enjoyed this video. I would love to hear what you guys say as well and more opinions, especially if you were in that forum post and I didn't get to you. So, anyway, until next time, I'll see you later. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Hey, you. Yes, you. Are you still there? Well, I appreciate you for taking the time to watch this entire video and making it to the end here. If you enjoyed this video, definitely check out the other videos about World of Warcraft listed in these playlists down below. And thank you again. Have a great day. Bye-bye.